YouTube. Today in this Hypertrophy series episode, we're going to discuss tonnage again, and I'm going to expand on a topic I started last week when I spoke about tonnage stability. I explained in this video that you do not want your tonnage to take dips or to increase too much because it would damage progress, potentially lead to injury, and overall not be beneficial for hypertrophy. Understand that every single concept, especially when it comes to bodybuilding, it's all nuanced, meaning that I don't want you to have a roller coaster tonnage, but I also don't want your tonnage to be too stable for two reasons. One, you understand that if your tonnage is stable, it means that you're not progressing. And two, because if you always try and keep the stability to the point where it is always a slow increase, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot because you are lacking the ability to control volume and intensity in certain ranges that would allow you to progress faster. Between two individuals, one that progresses steadily with a slow increase and that has very stable tonnage, and one that has a little bit more up and downs, as long as this guy ends up here with no injuries and no tendinitis of any sort, and they made sure to not repeat the mistakes I spoke about when it comes to increases of volume or tonnage that just goes down the gutter, they are better off because they progressed more, they accumulate more tonnage. And you're going to find that a lot of the strategies I discuss are going to be investments on the long term, meaning that you're going to sacrifice something to get something in return. I spoke about it when I spoke about lifting variations and lifting rotations, that when you include a new lift in your program, you're going to start slow, you're going to start low, meaning that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to tonnage. But it's an investment because in the long run, that lift is going to accumulate tonnage, and through percentages and intensity over time, it's going to be a beneficial force within the program because it's more flexible and it gives you more volume and intensity control. That same notion applies to tonnage as a whole. Sacrificing a little bit of tonnage to get a good increase in the future is beneficial. But you understand that if you keep repeating that same process again and again, you will end up with that roller coaster volume that we want to avoid. So how do we do that? We're going to apply that principle of long-term investment on very select portions of the program, where we're going to compartmentalize that exact portion, and we're going to do that practice only on this. And a perfect example of this practice and of a method that I've already explained on the channel that is basically built and engineered for that purpose is evolving rep range. If you thought about it, you might have realized that evolving rep ranges by default are going to make your tonnage vary a ton, because if you do a heavy back squat and you do evolving rep ranges and sets, and you go from 4 reps for one set of heavy squat to 3 sets of 8 to 6 reps, the increase of tonnage is insane, especially because we're talking about strength work, we're talking about hard sets that are going to be very beneficial for hypertrophy. So how do you reconcile the gap between the one set with 4 reps and the 3 sets with a minimum of 6 reps? How do you work around that? Well, it's a sacrifice, because going high intensity, low reps with one set will allow you to build up your strength to the point where that weight that you repped for 4 reps is going to be now a weight that you can rep for 6 or 7 reps for multiple sets. You sacrificed tonnage to get more in return in the future. This is also why I promote evolving rep ranges. Instead of trying to figure out a way to work it in your program, just follow that rep scheme, and that's also going to allow you to manipulate the program outside of it. Flexibility in the program is directly correlated with your ability to increase tonnage. So you see that if you have evolving rep ranges everywhere, it is going to make everything much more flexible, while also making it more difficult because you have to keep track of it, but also B, it is going to give you the freedom to play around with the pieces of the program so that the tonnage always increases, not only as a whole, but also for the right muscle groups, because most likely you're running a body part split if you're following my advice. And that is going to result in an increase in tonnage that is going to be as stable as can be while being as optimal as can be, because you will have the ability to control the dips because you know for a fact that that dip is going to result in an increase in the future. And that's how you go far. And in my opinion, as a non-strength athlete, that's how I promote progression. This is going to be it for the day. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you soon.